Hello everybody, welcome back, I'm MrRedClaw. Welcome back to an episode of Formula 1 2021 My Team Career, this time for the Austrian Grand Prix. But before we get to it, head down below, like and subscribe, it does help out a lot, and let's get right into it. So here we are at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, of course, for round 9, I'm pretty sure, of Season 2 of My Team Career. We've gotten a win, we've gotten a 4th place, and I'm pretty sure a 7th place or something like that. The last couple of races have all been good. The first part of the season, the first like 6 races or so, were absolutely terrible, 0 points in those races, but now finally we have kind of turned a look around. And maybe we are still the second slowest car, but we have definitely caught up to the teams ahead, like Alpine, Williams and Alfa Romeo, and we are actually there in the fight with them every single weekend, which is good for us, because the more points we get, the more money we get at the end of the season. The more points we get, the higher we finish in the standings, and the more money we get at the end of the season for next season to improve our car even more. At the end of the season, I kind of want the car to kind of be able to fight for points on a regular basis, and then maybe at the start of the next season, if we kind of get the car even better, hopefully we can improve so we can get podiums and stuff like that every single race or so. But not the best of qualifying times over there. P17 for us. Bottas takes pole from Norris from Hamilton. So a Mercedes McLaren sandwich over there, but let's see what we can do during the race.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 rights and 3 lefts, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez and Sainz, Verstappen, Giovinazzi, Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, Vettel, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Russell, Joe, Red, Charles Leclerc and Nicholas Latifi, Lundgaard, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin and Louis Delatraz. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So as you saw over there, it is raining and we are on the full wets for the start of this Grand Prix. So it's lights out and away we go. Sadly no highlights as the game kind of crashed, and I guess the highlights kind of doesn't create itself when the game crashes, so that kind of sucks. And I didn't really have enough time to go through the whole race replay to pick up the best things over the best overtakes and stuff over there. But we do start off, we fall down to P18, but we are right behind the Haas of Mick Schumacher over here. I definitely called him Michael Schumacher a couple of times this season, I know. But yes, Mick Schumacher, we dive down the inside, follow Leclerc down the inside. We actually move up to P15, some yellow flags over there behind us. Some sort of pile-up, I'm guessing, but we move up to P15, and we are now defending from the Williams of Guan Yu Zhou over here. We go down the inside, park the car on the apex, and go out wide, kind of push him off, not really though, we kind of stop him from going around the outside. But here we are on lap 3, some more yellow flags as Sergio Perez. I did not see him in that spray, that was actually really close to me actually going into the back of him. He DNF'd some sort of engine problem, I think, so we move up to P14 and then we actually overtake Russell for P13. Now the kind of main issue that I had in this race was that I wasn't really that good on the straights. Not really sure why. My car was kind of... you of course need a car that is good in a straight line over here, because it is mostly straights over here. Of course, Sector 2, Sector 3 need a little bit of rotation over there. As on lap 8, Leclerc tried to go down the inside of the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll over there, but he actually just made himself slow out of the first corner, so we actually go down the outside of Leclerc. We actually go around the outside of Stroll. Is it going to work? He gets a good run down the inside, but we do go around the outside, we get a better run, but as you can see, we just lose time down the straight, so I'm not really sure why that was. The front wing I had on 5, so it should be kind of fast, but I really had no clue. Even with ERS, I was just slow, but we go down the inside of Lance Stroll, we finish off the move, or do we, as he tries to go down the inside, but we kind of block him off, go around the outside and make it work. So from P13 up to P11, 2 brilliant overtakes on the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. As we move up to P19, of course, wet weather race, move on to lap 19, we move up to P10 as people pit. Of course, a wet weather race, especially on a circuit like this, hard to catch up, even harder to overtake when you actually get caught up. Now lap 20, we actually our pit window is open as we move up to P6 as more people pit. Now everyone is actually pitting on the wet tyres. It is still raining. It is meant to still be heavy rain for the next 20 minutes. But I was actually going slower on the full wets. I actually felt that I just didn't have enough kind of traction. So I was really gambling over here, and I actually went to switch to the intermediate tyres instead of the full wets, like the whole grid was running. But there is this sort of kind of weird thing in this game where it does look like it still should be full wets. But you can actually switch out to intermediates, or even in some cases the softs, which is quite weird, like the slick tyres, which is quite weird. When we go out, Sebastian Vettel was ahead of us, and he still is ahead of us, but we have clawed back that gap. I'm pretty sure it was around 3 seconds before, now it's around 2.3, so about half a second gained over there, maybe even a second. I'm not really sure what the exact time was before. But now it is basically time for me to catch up to him. As you can see, pulling away from Leclerc and Stroll in the back behind, to actually set a purple last sector and improved by nearly a second on that lap. So this is definitely the tyre to be on right now. On lap 26, slowly but surely we are catching up to Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin ahead, half a second over here. As you can see, just so much rotation, so much more rotation on these tyres compared to the full wets, where I just felt like I didn't have enough grip at the end of the first stint to actually be able to close up to Vettel even more. And as you can see, nearly 7 seconds to Leclerc and Stroll behind. Even with a couple mistakes every now and again, I still was able to maintain that gap and even expand that, as you can see, over 7 seconds now. Of course, they were fighting probably, but we are still putting in the work to close up to Vettel and Giovinazzi ahead. And as you can see, lap 30 over here, 3/10 behind. Are we going to go for the move now? It's going to be risky, but are we going to try late on the brakes? We've got the more traction on these tyres. As you can see, just green sectors all around. And are we going to make it work? As you can see, the lack of straight line speed is just huge over here. We got the better run. Sebastian Vettel tries to kind of close the door, but we actually get there before he kind of closes us off, and we actually go past the Aston Martin up to P10, up to the points, and on to lap 32, right behind Giovinazzi. I'm pretty sure in the Alpine. We are going to see, yep, in the Alpine. And are we going to be able to overtake him as well? Really fast through the first corner over there. As you can see, just so much slower on the straight. Now, I kind of get it more on the second stint over here, because as we go down the inside of the Alpine on a similar move, it's basically like a mirror move from what we did on Sebastian Vettel. He's going to get ahead. We are going to get into the slipstream, as he actually got a way better run than us this time. But are we going to go down the inside? He doesn't defend like Vettel did. I think he just knows that there's just no chance of him actually being able to hold me off, and we move up to P9. Ocon 3 seconds ahead. By the last lap, it was 1.2 seconds ahead. We caught up, we were much faster, but it was just not fast enough to actually be able to overtake him over here. As we go down into turn 3, as you can see, nearly lose the car over there. That happened a couple of times, but I kind of just don't want to show it because it just happens during a wet weather race. But yes, we got up to P9. It was, of course, we were slow on the straights in the second stint because I put the wing down so actually faster in the second and third sector to be able to catch up to the cars ahead. But there we go, P9, 2 points for us, well earned, fighting from P17 at the start of the Grand Prix.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria. And a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we go, Bottas takes the win from Hamilton, who moves up from P3 to P2, and Norris finishes off the podium in the McLaren with a P3 and 15 points. We move up from P17 to P9, 2 points, which means we kind of stay in P7 in the driver standings, behind Max Verstappen and ahead of Yuki Tsunoda in the Alpha TYRE. In the constructor standings, we actually fall down to P7, getting overtaken by Alpha TYRE, and I'm pretty sure Ferrari as well. I'm pretty sure they both had good races, but still P7, 2 points behind Alpha TYRE. For now, that is going to be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye bye.